Hey everyone, and welcome to Gotta Go Orlando. 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most dramatic years for construction we've ever seen at Walt Disney World. After years of looking at concept art and blue sky announcements, these massive expansion projects are officially moving out of the pipeline and into the mud. Across the resort, cranes are moving, steel is rising, and entire sections of the parks are being completely transformed. Today we are heading inside the Magic Kingdom, where the landscape is changing by the minute. The Rivers of America has officially disappeared, leaving behind a colossal construction zone as Disney clears the way for Piston Peak, the all-new Cars-themed land set to completely redefine Frontierland. But that's only half the story. Just beyond Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, crews are already laying the groundwork for the long-awaited Villains Land. Together, these two projects make up the largest expansion in Magic Kingdom's history. So in today's update, we're going to break down both of these massive construction sites, dive into the latest permits, and show you just how quickly this historic transformation is taking shape. So let's kick things off at our very first stop, Piston Peak. So far, Disney has released two different pieces of concept art for this project, and it's fair to say they've gotten completely opposite reactions. The original artwork left a lot of the fans scratching their heads, but when Disney unveiled a heavily updated concept, the response was way more positive. Most fans felt the revised look blended into the Magic Kingdom skyline much more naturally. But that still leaves a major question. How well will this new land actually fit into the historic story of Frontierland? Or is Disney using this expansion to steer the entire area into a brand new direction? When people hear Cars Land, they immediately think of Radiator Springs over at Disney's California Adventure. But that's not what's happening here. Instead of a neon-lit desert town, this land takes its cues from America's rugged natural parks and the worlds of planes, fire and rescue, giving it a heavily wilderness-inspired aesthetic. We even know one of the familiar faces guests will encounter, Ranger J. Autobahn Woodlaw. He's a direct nod to the Ranger J. Autobahn Woodlawyer from the classic 1954 Disney shorts. It's a great little clue that Imagineering is actively trying to tie this new area into the spirit of the classic Frontier adventures, rather than just copying and pasting the existing land. For the rides, the headliner is a high-energy off-road rally race, and unlike a lot of Disney's recent modern builds, this one will feature a traditional physical track instead of a trackless system. To balance out the thrills, there will also be a second family-friendly cars attraction aimed at younger racers, ensuring the land has something for everyone. But that's not all, there may be even a third attraction, but we'll get into that later on in this video. So what does the site actually look like on the ground right now? Honestly, the visual change is jarring. Tom Sawyer's Island has been completely flattened. Iconic hidden gems like Fort Longhorn, Potter's Mill, Injun Joe's Cave and the Mystery Mine tunnels are officially gone. The one saving grace is that Harper's Mill may have popped up in the latest concept art, which heavily hints that Disney might be planning to recreate or return the mill in some form. For now though, the former island is acting as a massive construction staging yard. It's packed with heavy machinery, towering stacks of building materials and shipping containers dotted all over the place. Right now, heavy lifting is happening underground. Crews are focused on the site's grading and laying down the massive infrastructure required for the water management. Remember, this entire area used to be a natural water man-made basin which connected to retention ponds and Seven Seas Lagoon. Once the new lands are built, the water footprint will be dramatically scaled down, which means drainage is everything. A ton of what we're seeing right now isn't actually building the land up, it's ensuring that the park doesn't flood during them classic central Florida downpours. The only real vertical progress we can see right now is the early structural work on the massive retaining wall system that will eventually outline the Piston Peak mountain range. This wall runs right along the perimeter of the old rivers of America, and it has to be incredibly thick because it's doing some serious heavy lifting, literally holding back and shaping the earth as the terrain rises dramatically behind it to form the mountains. The only section with a major difference at this time in the retaining wall is a section for the main waterfall and river feature. You can actually see where the wall loops back on itself to create a self-contained basin. This is where the land's giant waterfall will collect before the water is pumped right back up to the top of the mountain to keep the loop going. According to the latest permits, this re-engineered water system will connect near the old Liberty Square riverboat dock, wind past the front of Piston Peak, and snake its way towards Tiana's Bayou Adventure. This keeps the look and movement of water in Frontierland, even with the river's layout severely reduced. If you look closely at the retaining wall, you'll notice it raises and falls in height as it curves. That's a deliberate design trick. Imagineers are using these varying elevations to create layers of sightlines. Instead of seeing the whole land at once, you'll get different shifting views of Piston Peak as you walk through Frontierland, making the environment feel more massive and immersive. The tallest section of the retaining wall sits right near the old riverboat landing, which will act as the high point anchor where the mountain range begins its steep climb. But I suspect that the retaining wall system isn't just for Cars Land, it's also pulling double duty to hide Villains Land. In the concept art, Villains Land looks like a dark subterranean world where the ground has completely collapsed inwards. To pull this off without guests seeing it from Liberty Square, Imagineers have to build up massive dirt berms and tall retaining walls along the edges. Fans are already calling this boundary the Obsidian Wall, a massive jagged berm designed for absolute visual isolation. It ensures that once you step into the world of the villains, the rest of the Magic Kingdom completely vanishes. Speaking of changes to the area, Disney has started to close off some of the old wooden walkways near the Diamond Horseshoe and the Liberty Tree Tavern, and a quick serve unit has been completely cleared out as well. These old walkways most likely will be torn up to make more room for much wider paths and planting areas, and this will be a huge operational win as it will vastly improve crowd flow in the area, especially during parade times when that specific corner of the park turns into an absolute bottleneck. To keep the magic alive for guests right now, Disney recently threw up two massive temporary construction walls right alongside Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. They completely block the view from the coaster tracks, hiding the heavy machinery and dirt piles so riders can stay immersed in the Old West. But if you look past the walls into the heart of Piston Peak site, you'll notice that new drainage access pipes are sticking way up into the air several feet above the current dirt level. That is a dead giveaway for just how much soil Disney is about to dump into the site. To raise the elevation to handle that much dirt, they have installed a giant conveyor system that runs overnight after the park closes, moving mountains of sand and soil into the zone without disrupting the daytime guests. We can actually note now the mounds in Villains Land and a mound between Piston Peak and Villains Land, which is a big indicator that we are now lifting the elevation above water table level. Over by the Haunted Mansion, the extended queue has been been altered, and the handrails along the old access ramp are gone, and the ramp has been also demolished. This is exactly where those initial structural steel shipments were spotted. While not officially confirmed, this is possibly the steel for the mountain base, and recently the steel has been moved over to where the base of the mountain would begin, making it the perfect spot for the crews to assemble the steel framework that will eventually hold up the heavy rock work of Piston Peak. It's an incredible milestone because it means the project is finally transitioning from boring dirt work to actual vertical construction. If you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to smash subscribe, and if you're watching on TV, all you have to do is scroll up on your remote and you'll see the subscribe button below the play line. Alternatively, you can scan this QR on screen right now with your mobile device, and that will take you to our channel to subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram to see what we're up to, the latest news from Orlando, tips, tricks and guides. But if you're not on Instagram, we also have X and Facebook and our very own website. Just search Gotta Go Orlando. So let's dive right back into the video. While all of this is thrilling, behind the scenes, documents filed with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for Project SNK gives us the ultimate roadmap for what's coming. In the cars section, the primary show building closest to Frontierland measures a whopping 47,600 square feet. This will be the home of the main off-road rally race, housing and loading station, maintenance bays and indoor show scenes before the track breaks out into the mountains. Also, a smaller hexagonal footprint of around 19,300 square feet is visible in the concept art in the cars section, which heavily hints at a family flat ride. Highly rumoured to be a custom wilderness themed version of Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, but it is important this ride is not in the concept art. Now let's look at the timeline. Magic Kingdom is actually trailing behind the other major Walt Disney World expansions. Over at Hollywood Studios, Monstropolis the Monster Inc. land is charging ahead, and Animal Kingdom's Tropical Americas is moving at lightning speed. Because the Magic Kingdom is a true expansion built completely from scratch with zero pre-existing utilities, it's a much longer timeline. Current projections put the opening of Piston Peak somewhere around 2029. Villains Land, that is a much longer play, with current estimates tracking the debut between 2030 and 2031. So let's head over to Villains Land and check out the key construction milestones. The reason why Villains Land is taking so much longer is the sheer scale of engineering. The construction crews are installing massive concrete piping to reroute the entire new stormwater system out to the park's retention ponds and the Seven Seas Lagoon. This is evident with the work being carried out over at the original lock. We've seen new storm drain piping being installed and a new water channel being dug, rerouting the flow. You'll also notice yellow floating booms in the water behind the park. Those are environmental barriers placed there to stop construction runoff from impacting the local Central Florida wildlife. But let's get to the juicy stuff inside the latest permits. There's a ton of buzz around the area directly behind the Haunted Mansion. Permits show a purple coded building layout right next to the mansion's footprint, sparking heavy speculation that this backstage zone will support a rumoured water-based dark ride. It makes perfect sense logistically, as the area already has an established backstage access and maintenance roads. Moving deeper into Villains Land, the latest permit updates show that the building footprints have actually grown since the original filings. The crown jewel of the land is a ginormous building measuring over 70,000 square feet. To put that into perspective, that is a similar size to the Rock and Roller Coaster building at Hollywood Studios. Rumours are suggesting that this could be that massive indoor water ride. But the real shocker in the updated permits is the second major structure, coming in at around 48,000 square feet, which could potentially house the massive launch, indoor roller coaster, queuing area, loading platform, and massive pre-show. It's also important to note that rumours have the coaster travelling outside, which is supported with the concept artwork. Other structures in the blueprints point to heavily themed retail lineup and a massive dining hub. Think along the lines of Universal's Hogsmeade or Dark Universe, with wonky buildings, rickety storefronts, and small windy streets. The leading rumour right now is a full-service, high-capacity Hades dinner show and a villainous comedic take on the Diamond Horseshoe. There's even a small rectangular building sitting right along the old railroad alignment. Fans are crossing their fingers that this will be a brand new Villains Land train station, which would finally reconnect Walt Disney World Railroad into a full continuous loop around the park. The water and environmental calculations listed directly in the state permits are officially scaled to handle an average daily load of 9,316 active guests. In short, Disney is building these two lands to increase the Magic Kingdom's overall daily capacity by an extra 10,000 guests per day. Currently, the Magic Kingdom's capacity is between 85,000 and 100,000 guests. Now, I'm not saying Disney's going to cram 110,000 people in the park, but it definitely ups the capacity and gives Disney more play with crowd control. Before we wrap things up, a massive shout out to Bio Reconstruct for the spectacular aerial photos used in today's video. Do yourself a favour and go and check out his incredible work on X and YouTube. I've linked both in the description down below, and is also one of our suggested channels. Now I want to hear from you. Which of the two massive Magic Kingdom projects are you booking your ticket for? Are you ready to step into the darkness of Villains Land? Or are you counting down the days until you can conquer Piston Peak? Or do you think tearing up the rivers of America was a mistake? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Let's get the debate going. For more Orlando theme park news, breaking updates and rumours, make sure you head over to gottagoorlando.com or scan the QR on screen. Are you planning your next vacation? Well, don't forget to check out our affiliates for theme park tickets, flights, car rental and accommodation. Check out the links in the description or scan the QR on screen now. Hey, thank you for watching this video right to the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, why don't you check out this video right here that YouTube's picked out for you. You can also follow us on these social media platforms right here to stay up to date with what's happening here in Orlando, Florida. Now get out there and go and make some memories. Bye YouTube!